And Illinois lawmakers still debating a ban on assault weapons. The latest on efforts to pass a new law within weeks. Your News at 10 starts now.
Live from the KWQC studio, this is TV6 News at 10.
First at 10, one last night before winter weather rolls into the Quad Cities right before the holiday weekend. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sharon DeReek.
I'm Redrick Terry. Thanks for being with us tonight. Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland is here with us as well. Boy, it's already getting really cold out there, and already expecting things to be a little bit worse.
Gonna get colder. I just want to throw this out there. I have no interest in any poultry, dairy, or baking interests, just to clear the air here. But yeah, we're going to, if you do need to go to the grocery store or get gas in the car, do it either now or before about dinner time tomorrow, because once the snow begins, it'll get very uncomfortable to be outside, especially with those wind chills. It'll be anywhere between minus 20 to minus 35, maybe minus 40.
Dangerous stuff.
Yeah, absolutely dangerous in the next few days. So we have multiple first alert days. It's going to kick in tomorrow evening at about 6. That's when the snow begins, mainly north and west of the Metro Quad Cities, all the way till noon Saturday. We get about 18 hours of snow, not very heavy, but then we get about 2 days of brutal winds, which will take the temperatures and the wind chills down. Winter storm warning now in the purple. In the blue, it's still a winter storm watch. That might change, but this will show where the lower snow amounts are expected toward Dubuque, Joe Davies, and Jackson County. There we could see anywhere from 3 to 7 inches of snow, but all of us will get in on those gusts of nearly 55 miles per hour with chills at their worst of about minus 30 to minus 40. Right now we've got temperatures in the teens, even single digits west of the river. And as we go through the night, we cloud up. For tomorrow, we're cloudy, and at about dinner time, we've got that snow setting up north and west of the Quad Cities. Snow we'll talk about later, but through this period, northwest winds 20 to 30 miles per hour, gusts near 50 once the cold air settles in on Thursday, and we'll see highs Friday and Saturday only in the single digits, and that will mean chills of minus 20 to minus 40 when that wind gusts. And we'll talk more about this whole storm and the timing coming up.
With those cold temperatures and snow in the forecast, you may be tempted to stock up on supplies.
Yeah, TV6's Hernan Gutierrez spoke to a grocery store manager about how they're getting ready for the winter weather rush this week.
We're just going to sell more of everything, and we're ready for that.
Instead of stocking on Thursday like normal, the West Kimberly Hy-Vee is shifting its stocking day to Wednesday to beat the winter weather. Manager Matt Eggers says they want to make sure shoppers can get everything they need for the holidays and the temperatures.
A bunch of our trucks, we've bumped them up. Instead of coming on Thursday, they're coming tomorrow. We've changed schedules around to get a whole bunch of people here tomorrow. But besides that, we're business as usual.
With Christmas on Sunday, it's leading up to be the perfect storm.
The last couple days up until Christmas, everyone's getting their Christmas dinner together, buying their rib roast, buying their turkeys, buying their hams, and then everything that goes along with it.
Eggers' tip to avoid any complications ahead of the weather and the holiday: just get your shopping out of the way ASAP.
But get here early, get it in, get done, and enjoy the rest of your day, and enjoy the weekend with your friends and family, and have a good time.
While the Monday after Christmas is typically slow, grocery stores can expect demand to pick right back up for New Year's parties in the week after. In Davenport, Hernan Gutierrez, TV6 News.
It's a busy time of year. Now, the West Kimberly Hy-Vee is open until 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve and closed on Christmas Day. Now, tonight we are already starting to get notice of closings for schools and a few churches. Of course, we're expecting to continue getting more closings in the coming days. You can stay up to date on weather delays and cancellations over on our news app and website. Other news tonight, 2 people were hurt in a fire at a house in Davenport. This happened just before 7 o'clock this morning on Farnham Street. Davenport Fire says smoke and flames were coming out of the 2 windows on the 2nd story. They say a total of 21 personnel were needed at the scene. The house has been deemed unlivable at this time. A cause is still being investigated.
Investigations are continuing in the aftermath of the explosion at the C60 plant in Marengo, Iowa, with the Iowa DNR now concerned with the quality of water surrounding in the areas and the Iowa River. As Ethan Stein explains, it all started from storm water that they believe looked contaminated.
As firefighters fought to put out the fire at this plant in Marengo, officials say they did not know what chemicals were inside the building. The Iowa Department of Natural Resources says it found stormwater dark and oily in color and texture due to unknown chemicals going into ditches connected to the Iowa River.
But it can be difficult.
David Swartney studies water and wastewater treatment at the University of Iowa. He says if those unknown chemicals entered the river, officials would have had a difficult time detecting pollutants in the water and then in turn treating them.
You may not have the right methods to measure it. You may not know how best to remove it. So you have to know what you're working with so you can, one, measure how much of it is there, and two, figure out if any of the existing treatment will work.
An Iowa City water official says DNR told them it believes the contaminated stormwater never made it to the river. Instead, it's stuck in between ditches between the plant and the river. TV9 also got these photos from emails between DNR officials. It shows water wasn't released from a stormwater basin. It's why DNR officials said in the email they are confident that the flow hasn't been released into the river. Footage from Newsdrone 9 shows different substances are still inside and outside the building. C60, the company operating the plant, is required to clean up the plant. Those cleanup efforts are still ongoing 10 days after an explosion.
The DNR is also testing the water around Marengo to make sure it is also not contaminated and safe to use. A train derailed near Chattanooga, Tennessee after it collided with a tractor trailer. The truck was stopped at a red light with its trailer on the tracks. The truck was carrying a 134-foot-long concrete trestle to be used in a road construction project. The train derailed after the collision, and 2 Norfolk Southern employees were transported to the hospital. The truck driver was not hurt.
At least 2 people are dead in the aftermath of a 6.4 magnitude earthquake in California. At least 12 were hurt as well. And this quake rocked Northern California early this morning. Right now, response officials say one of the major challenges is water supply for the affected areas.
Unfortunately, at this point in time, I do not believe that we will have water restored to the city by this evening. So we're looking at potentially 24 to 48 hour situation with no running water.
This earthquake also came on the heels of another one just days earlier in the San Francisco Bay Area. Illinois could become the 9th state to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines next month. State lawmakers held their final subject matter hearing of the year today.
Yeah, Democratic lawmakers and advocates are pushing to have a ban in place, but gun owners say the proposed ban will not stop criminals. Capitol Bureau Chief Mike Militich has the latest now from Springfield.
Law enforcement leaders from Cook County and Chicago say lawmakers need to act quickly to get assault weapons and extended magazines off the streets.
Innocent people all around are going to get slaughtered. That's what's going to happen. These things are designed for that. There is no sane person who's going to sit there and say, in our society, we should have these.
The Illinois State Police would be responsible for investigations of illegal firearm trafficking and providing statewide coordination for firearm-related intelligence and firearm tracking interdiction. ISP will also have to handle the registration of guns for people who own assault weapons before the ban takes effect.
Anytime there's going to be this type of implementation, we will need some language to give us some flexibility for procurement so we can move quickly, so we can get the resources we need in terms of the technology, but also potentially for the personnel.
Meanwhile, gun lobby groups say they're not willing to negotiate with sponsors of this bill. They know that Democrats have enough support for the plan, and Governor J.B. Pritzker will likely sign it into law.
The gun owners are tired of being blamed for every madman, every criminal, and every other depraved act that 2.5 million gun owners didn't do.
The Illinois State Rifle Association and National Rifle Association stress the lawmakers will see them in court if House Bill 5855 becomes law. But the organization Everytown for Gun Safety says this plan will help keep assault-style guns out of communities.
The drivers of gun violence in Illinois are complex and multifaceted, but this bill represents a holistic approach to solving the crisis of gun violence in our state through prevention, intervention, and accountability.
Democratic lawmakers say there will be more hearings about this bill during the lame duck session. Well, the clock is ticking in Washington as lawmakers work to pass a spending bill to avert a government shutdown. A look at what's in the bill right now and the obstacles for getting a deal done.
And a little bit later, as the year draws to a close, we look back on some of the wackiest and wildest moments that made for viral video viewing in 2022.
And temperatures almost made it back to average today. We'll do this for one more day. Some highs in the 30s. And now we've got some very cold air and some snow to time out. We'll do that after the break.
You're watching TV6 News with Redrick Terry and Sharon DeReek. And now, your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland.
Yeah, a lot to chat about tonight, so let's get right to it as we find the snow coming to an end Thursday afternoon. After it starts tomorrow evening, we'll get right into the strong winds and the dropping temperatures. So we'll look at wind chills Thursday night into Friday morning of about minus 25 to minus 35. Some areas could get as cold as minus 40 for those wind chills. It eases back a little bit, but not too much Friday night into Saturday morning, Christmas Eve, 20 to 30 below. And for Sunday morning, Christmas morning, wind chills of minus 10 to minus 20. Kind of a transition day on Saturday. The wind will start to slow down. We'll get some sunshine back and then a little bit more sunshine for our Christmas Sunday. And here's a timeline of everything. I know it looks a little complicated. You'll find it on our KWQC and my Facebook page if you want to study it a little bit more. But Wednesday evening through Wednesday night into Thursday afternoon, that's when we get the snow. After that, that's when the high-speed winds settle in, so that will start the whiteout conditions, which could last a couple of days. It's about 18 hours of snow, 2 days of furious winds. In the midst of that, throughout the day Friday, from midnight Friday to midnight Saturday, we'll see temperature, or I should say wind speeds up to about 50 miles per hour. I should say midnight Thursday to midnight Friday, all day Friday that is, and wind chills of about minus 20 to minus 40 at their coldest. By Christmas, thankfully things ease up a little bit, but we're still dealing with those very cold chills to start off Christmas Eve morning with a high of 5 Saturday, 13 the high on Christmas Sunday, and temperatures will moderate a bit as we get into next week. Now here's the thing, a 99% chance of a white Christmas. Some of you folks in west central Illinois might get enough wind to blow that snow off your yard so you don't have quite an inch of snow by 6 a.m. Christmas morning. If you see the tops of your grass blades, you probably don't qualify for an official white Christmas, but most of us likely will. So that's why we've taken that up. We've got some clearing in our skies right now. Clouds will come back later tonight. And there you can see the leading edge of some snow. That snow arrives tomorrow evening. Here's Wednesday, 7 p.m. We've got snow mainly around and especially north and west of the Metro Quad cities. And it looks like that's where our heaviest snow will be, just north and west of an Iowa City to Dubuque line. And as you can see, as we finish off the evening and get into the night, still some more widespread snow to come, even Thursday morning. But this system looks more progressive now. Just check some of the latest models, and it doesn't look like the snowfall amounts, which aren't too impressive for a quote-unquote winter storm, have changed that much. Nonetheless, we get into Thursday afternoon. There goes the snow, and then the strong winds settle in, and that's when the temperatures and the wind chills take drops to dangerous levels. We'll stay mainly cloudy on Friday, but start breaking out into a little bit of sun by Saturday. Snowfall amounts around the metro, probably north and west for the higher totals, but we're probably in a 4 to 6 inch band here, 6 or more inches to the north and west, especially where that winter storm warning is, and toward west central Illinois, about 2 to 4 inches. Now check out these wind chills. Thursday afternoon, we're starting to see these fall behind the snow. For Thursday evening and Thursday night, Friday morning, we're dropping to around minus 30. And again, for Saturday morning, not much of improvement, if improvement, just a little bit, about minus 25 to minus 30. Tonight we're down to 10 with wind chills of minus 2 to about 5 above. We'll go cloudy tomorrow with some evening snow developing. Winter arrives at 3:47, by the way, and then it's first alert day after first alert day. 25 and falling on Thursday. Snow wraps up in the afternoon. We go to Friday dry, high of 3, 5 the high on Saturday after those single-digit below zero morning lows. And by next week, we're looking at a chance of snow for Monday and 20s to near 30 by Tuesday.
Tonight, a House committee has voted to make a report on former President Trump's taxes public. The vote, coming from the House Ways and Means Committee, makes 6 years of Trump's tax returns public, potentially ending years of speculation about what they might reveal about his business dealings and personal wealth. The information could be available to the public as soon as tomorrow. U.S. lawmakers are racing the clock and the weather to fund the government through the end of next fiscal year before a Friday deadline.
Yeah, the Senate Appropriations Committee unveiled an omnibus spending bill early Tuesday morning that includes provisions on everything from defense to health care to assistance for low-income families. Amanda Sansone is in Washington now to break down what's in, what's out, and what obstacles remain.
The clock is ticking on Capitol Hill to pass a massive $1.7 trillion spending bill and avert a government shutdown before funding runs out at midnight Friday.
This package represents an aggressive and essential investment in American families, American workers, and in our national defense.
The bipartisan legislation includes $858 billion in defense spending and more than $770 billion in discretionary funds. This includes money for disaster aid, college access, child care, and food assistance, as well as additional support for U.S. Capitol Police. The sweeping package also includes a provision that overhauls the Electoral Count Act, the measure aimed at making it harder to overturn a certified presidential election.
Basically, it'll stop what happened to us January the 6th.
But the more than 4,000-page bill leaves out several priorities some lawmakers fought to include, like an expansion of the child tax credit, a provision to make it easier for licensed cannabis businesses to accept credit cards and bank cash reserves, and several individual and corporate tax breaks. To speed up the process to avoid a shutdown, all 100 senators must agree to bring the bill up for a vote. But despite some GOP criticism over the bill's size and rushed process,
to do it this way, I just think it erodes what little confidence people have in us.
Senate leadership is hopeful the package will pass the chamber Wednesday and clear the House Thursday, making its way to the president's desk just in time for Christmas. In Washington, I'm Amanda Sansone.
Coming up, a wild and wondrous look back at the craziest viral stories and trends of 2022.
The news is sponsored in part by
Everyone's favorite hippo got her spotlight stolen. A mom had to pay up on a social media stifling deal, and a mobile word puzzle gave us all a much-needed distraction.
Yeah, these stories and more made up just some of the wildest viral and trending highlights this year. Let's take a look at 2022 with Jeremy Roth.
Farewell, 2022, we hardly knew ye. Actually, that's not true, because we all witnessed firsthand what a bombastic, fantastic, fashionable, impassionable, self-referential, existential, hedonistic, supercalifragilistic year it was. Let's take a look at 2022. The world's most famous pachyderm, Fiona the hippo, is no stranger to stardom, but she had to learn to share her viral spotlight in 2022 when she became a big sister. Fiona's mother, Phoebe, had another baby at the Cincinnati Zoo, a bouncing bulbous boy named Fritz, a name that was crowdsourced from the zoo's vast menagerie of fans. The slick and slippery siblings took some time to bond, as siblings do, and now the pair are thick as thieves. Motherly love was on display in the cutest possible way, caught on camera in a Costa Rican jungle when a baby sloth that had fallen from a tree was reunited with its mother. She may move like molasses, but she was quick to dole out some cuddles. Yeah, it may not be news, but it sure got a lot of views, like over 30 million on Facebook alone. You know, sometimes parents need to use tough love, like a Minnesota mom who went viral for her unique 18 for 18 challenge with her teen. Years ago, she offered her son $1,800 cash to stay off social media entirely until he was 18 years old. Well, the kid turned 18 this year, cashed in on his promises kept, and started wading into social media waters $1,800 richer.
Totally worth it. I mean, I'd do it again.
A pair of family fishing trips became viral whales of a tale. The first when a grandpa-grandson duo hooked a mako shark and the fighting fish suddenly took flight.
Next thing we knew, he fell out of the sky and landed in the boat.
And all of a sudden, here he is, right here in my face, and he hits me with his tail right on my left cheek.
I've heard of jumping the shark, but not a shark jumping you. The other fish out of water story makes liberal use of the bleep button, and for good reason. A fishing father and son were scared witless when a whale suddenly crested and went airborne, touching down right on their boat. The pair let fly a hilarious, obscene reaction that's still hanging somewhere over the Atlantic. Speaking of what the I don't know what was more mind-boggling in 2022, the treasure trove of interstellar images captured by the newly launched James Webb Space Telescope, or the bevy of bizarre and freaky food stuff we got, but certainly didn't need. Let's compare and contrast them, shall we? Amazing looks at deep space phenomena with cheesy names like the Phantom Galaxy, or cheesy choices like Kraft Mac and Cheese ice cream or a Velveeta martini. Blech. Intoxicating close-ups of nebulas and galaxies light years away, or bonkers boozy byproducts like Oreo-flavored wine and a temperature-testing fingernail polish for your beer. Breathtaking, deep-field images of the universe that left you saying, "Oh my word," or "Oh my God, what is that?" A limited edition Oscar Mayer beauty mask, that's what. It replaced cold cream with cold cuts. But if freaky food fodder was a competition, I believe we have a wiener. Oscar Mayer also debuted a weird frozen hot dog popsicle that even they admitted was either stupid or genius. An out-of-this-world pet project turned into a personal crusade for a Georgia man from Eastern Europe. Star Wars superfan Akaki Lakiachvili spent 6 years and at least 50 grand building a life-size X-Wing replica, which he used to raise money to benefit war-torn Ukraine. The ship was featured at a Major League Baseball game, and its Twitter account was even liked by Luke Skywalker himself, actor Mark Hamill. Finally, if 2022 was summed up in a word, it would be, well, Wordle. The New York Times took the popular puzzle on mobile global, where it became a worldwide daily brain-teasing phenomenon. In fact, Google says Wordle was its top searched term for 2022, and if I can just decipher this elusive clue, we will finally bid the year, adieu. I'm Jeremy Roth, reporting.
What a year. All right, coming up, basketball highlights from both Iowa and Illinois, and some college football recruiting news ahead of tomorrow's National Signing Day. It's all next in sports.
As a member of our military, I spent years doing my best.
Well, it might be cold outside, but inside the action is heating up on the hardwood in both Iowa and Illinois. In girls basketball, Davenport North at home against Davenport West. First quarter following the turnover, sophomore junior Houston in transition. Outlet pass to freshman Olivia McCorkle. The Wildcats go up 6-0. A bit later, McCorkle gets it done on the defensive end. She gets the steal and finds Divine Burge for the layup. North now up by 12. Still in the first quarter, junior Kira Taylor leads the break. Passes it to Burge, who was open for three. Kaboom! North dominating at home. Then it is Houston who comes up away with the steal. She throws it to Damia Clark, who glides in for two. Wildcats win 97-34. In boys basketball, Sherrard hosting Mercer County. First quarter, Mercer County's Chase Olson with the crossover and pull-up jumper. He gets the bucket and the foul. Golden Eagles lead 2-0 early. Back comes Sherrard, Holland, Anderson, an open Jack, Hattelstad in the corner for three, and we are all tied up at 6. On defense, Owen Relander with the steal and the strong finish in transition. Golden Eagles go back up by 2. Then it is Relander again, backing down his defender in the post with the hook shot to finish it off. No final score to report from this game. Bellevue taking on Maquoketa. In the second quarter, Maquoketa's Carter Meyer with the three right in front of the Bellevue bench. That pushes the Cardinals' lead up to 8 points. More from Maquoketa. Tyler Hins knocking down another three. That keeps the Cardinals' lead at 8. But Bellevue would not go away. It's going to be Hunter Putman hitting the corner three. That brings the lead down to just 3 points. Back and forth we go. Then it's Bellevue's Cameron Castle high off the glass for the hoop and the foul. We are all tied up at 39. Yeah, he's excited, but just too much Maquoketa. Lucas Ehrig, the steal from behind, and then the layup. Cardinals win a shootout, 90-78. West Liberty up against Central DeWitt in girls wrestling. First match at 2:35 early in the second round. Ashley Bossum, the senior, fighting for her opponent's shoulders to get them to the mat. She gets them down for the fall at 2:35 to put the Sabres into the lead. But West Liberty rattles off a bunch of wins after that. At 1:10, Charlie Gingrich blocks up the cradle and gets the mat slap just 28 seconds in to even up the score. At 1:40, the Comets keep the pins coming. Nellie Stagg works her way into a pinning predicament just 1:06 into the match, and West Liberty goes up 28-18. But it all comes down to the 155-pound match. Madison Edens needs just 44 seconds to get the win for herself and the win for the Sabres. Central DeWitt wins 36-34. Well, Illinois head football coach Brett Bielema is not going anywhere anytime soon. He signed a new 6-year deal that goes until the end of the 2028 season. Under Bielema 2022, 19 Illinois football players earned all Big Ten honors. That is the most in program history. Bielema is 13-11 as Illinois head coach. The Illini take on Mississippi State on January 2nd in the ReliQuest Bowl. Not so good news for Iowa football. Five-star offensive tackle prospect Caden Proctor from Southeast Polk is no longer committed to play for the Hawkeyes. Instead, he's committed to play for Alabama. According to ESPN, Proctor is ranked as the best recruit in Iowa and the 10th best overall prospect in the country. Proctor initially verbally committed to Iowa back in June. Runners, swimmers, and bikers, get ready. After 3 years away, the Quad Cities Triathlon is back in 2023. This is the 21st annual Quad Cities Triathlon. In the early years, around 150 people participated. That number has grown to as high as 700. The race is a USA Triathlon sanctioned event and includes a 600-yard swim, 15-mile bike ride, and 3.1-mile run. But what makes the Quad Cities Triathlon unique is it starts off in a time trial format.
Few hundred people doing the race. We start 2 people at a time every 3 seconds. And they go out, and that's how we start the swim. Our bike course is completely closed to traffic. It's out here on the west side of Davenport, so it goes all the way almost out towards Bluegrass, and it's completely closed to cars, which is nice. And our run course is outside the park on 110th Avenue, and that's all closed to traffic as well.
The 2023 Quad Cities Triathlon takes place on June 17th. To learn how you can register, visit the link at the bottom of the screen. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
You're watching TV6 News.
After lows near 10 tonight, we're back up to around 30 tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies and snow developing in the evening, especially north and west of the Metro Quad Cities. High temperatures tomorrow, anywhere from the low 20s to the north along Highway 20 to the low 30s as you drop farther south. And then it's over. We hit about 25 in the morning on Thursday. Temperatures will be falling through the day as the snow continues to fall, and the winds really increase after that snow ends early in the afternoon as we go for a low of -4 Friday, a high of 3, 5 the high Christmas Eve, but 13 on Christmas and another chance of snow early next week.
Oh boy, all right. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good night.
Need to make that.